Connect, remain, cultivate. Let's talk about Sunday's teaching. Welcome to Wednesday's Coffee and Conversation. Well, welcome back, church family. So glad that you're joining with us this morning for Wednesday's Coffee and Conversation, a time that we set aside just to think through, reflect on Sunday's teaching in order to put that into practice in our everyday lives. We don't want to just attend church on Sunday and then go back to living our lives. No, we want to actually grow in our walk with Jesus and grow in our faith in the way we express it. Right now, we're in a series called Influence, all about thinking about how we as Christians can use our influence to impact others for good, to share the love of Christ, and impact the grace of Christ into the world around us. On Sunday, Pastor Warner's message was all about having long-term influence. How can we have influence over the long term? And he looked at a study of John chapter 15, where Jesus says, "I am the true grapevine." He talked about three things in terms of our long-term influence. First, we need to make sure that we're connected to the source. We need to make sure that we're part of the vine. We're connected to him as the vine, as the gardener. Second, we need to remain in the vine. We need to remain connected to the source. It's not just salvation and then go back to our lives. No, this is something that we need to remain in. And thirdly, we need to continue to cultivate our connection with the source. It's a journey, it's a long process that we are all on. We need to continue to work at it, to remain connected and to grow into more of who Jesus wants us to be. So here are three questions for us today to discuss and think about these three things. Question number one, how has God provided and cared for you? How has God provided and cared for you? If we're connected to the source, we're connected to the one who is life, who loves us. Sometimes that loving is pruning, cutting things off that don't belong, that are dead, but it's about bringing us life and wholeness. So in what ways, take some time to reflect, in what ways has God provided and cared for you? Share those with one another. Question number two. What are you doing to remain in Jesus? What are you doing to remain connected to the source? I said it a couple times. It's not just, salvation and then you go on living your lives. No, it's something that we have to continue to do. We need to remain connected to the source that is life. We need to remain connected to Jesus. So what practices, habits, what things are you doing to help you remain connected to Jesus? Maybe share some things that you need to start doing, or maybe some areas that you're realizing I'm not connected to Jesus in this way, and talk about ways that you can get connected again and then remain connected. That's question number two. Last question for us this morning is this. How does cultivating our connection to Jesus help us influence others? We can be working on ourselves and we can be cultivating this connection, and that in turn can influence others. So take some time to think this through. What ways that you're living your life, what ways that you are making yourself closer to Jesus, that you're striving to become more like him, where you're connected to the source, where you're hearing from him on a regular basis. How can that translate then into your influence upon others? How can that impact the way that you interact with your family or your community, your church family, your neighborhood, your workplace, your school? How can your cultivating your life with Jesus translate into influence on other people? So those are your three questions for today. Take some time to discuss through them, but then just encourage one another, pray each other, make sure that you're connected with other people. Remember, we're not doing this alone, we're in it together. God bless you, church.